everyone, welcome to the lookbook. I'm super excited for this video because today I'm going to review the newly launched Kay Beauty Eyeshadow Palette, and I have the variant Pure Bloom. Now if you want to skip over to the part where I use this palette and create this glam peachy eye look, then the timestamp will be on the screen. Feel free to do so. But first I'm going to share some details about this palette that might help you if you're looking to buy this. So I'm on Nykaa's website right now, and this palette comes in 4 variants: Self Love, Bare Soul, Wild and Free, and Pure Bloom. I have the variant Pure Bloom, which is a beautiful peachy palette. This is what it looks like. Packaging of every palette has its own unique illustration that goes with the name. I always imagined when eventually Kay Beauty launches its eyeshadow palette, it will have a very basic white packaging with the same print that is on all of its other makeup products, but I'm so glad they switched it up and went for this unique illustration sort of idea. First thing, it is super unique. I have never seen this being done for any of the Indian brands or even foreign brands. In fact, launching 4 variants of the same palette at a time and having unique illustration. Like having a name on top is a different thing, having it color coded, but having a beautiful picture that depicts the name, that depicts the shade that's inside, that takes so much thought, and I really like the small details that they have put in. Another thing they did right was adding a mirror. Oh my god, I can't even tell you how many eyeshadow palettes we have that don't have a mirror, so we have to put the palette on one side, the brushes, and then hold a mirror, like a hand mirror in our hands, and that becomes, it's a lot. Like especially while filming, it becomes a problem because we are not sitting in front of a dressing table, or if we are traveling we might not have a close dressing table nearby. So I'm really glad they have a small mirror attached with it, and it is a good quality mirror, so you can do your whole face with it. Coming to the individual variants, the one I have is Pure Bloom. Now this is overall a peachy palette. It also has one warm brown and one coral shade, so I think it's a really well thought of eyeshadow palette. Another good one is Self Love because it has the usual easy to work with maroon and pink shades. Also Bare Soul is a good variant. It's not something I would go for. It has really dark brown and black tones, like perfect for smoky eyes, but nothing for that pop of color, so it's not something I would go for. But if that is your jam, go for it. Now the one I'm disappointed in, I mean the color story, not the performance of the shades, is Wild and Free. It is such a weird palette. Like it has maroon, it has olive tone shades, it has grungy brown shades. That palette is a hard pass for me, but the rest 3 are really beautiful. Coming to the price point, each palette retails for 1200 rupees, and honestly that was kind of expected from Kay Beauty. They have lipsticks for 700, in fact for 1000 as well, so I was expecting around 1500 price range. So 1200 is kind of justified because you get the whole experience of Katrina Kaif's brand, and then they are pretty decent, and I really like the packaging. Like the packaging, I think that is one thing that they have done absolutely right. So that was all the information that I wanted to share before we move on to the application part, and this is the makeup look that I have created. It's a Peachy Glam Makeup Look. Hope you like this, and also let me know if you guys want a 3 looks using this one palette video where I create 3 looks using this one Kay Beauty Pure Bloom eyeshadow palette. This was a series that was on my channel way back, and I kind of discontinued it, but if you want that video, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll be answering each and every comment. So that said, let's jump into the application. So now let's see how the palette actually applies on our eyes, the pigmentation, blendability. I'm going to try to create a super glam look so that we can see the best this palette has to offer. I already have my base makeup on, so let's quickly start with the eye makeup. First, I'm going to pick the lightest shade in the palette. Now this is named Biscuit. Each and every shade here has a name, and that is super cute. I really like when beauty gurus, they call out the shades with their shade name. It is really unique, and most Indian brands, they don't do it, so I'm glad Kay Beauty did that. I'm going to take it on a fluffy blending brush and first just place it towards the outer corner and then drag it inwards with windshield wiper motion and then circular motions over the crease. This is going in really well. Even for such a light shade, it does show up on my eyes. I do have concealer and powder on my eyes, so, and it's blending in nicely. On the same blending brush, I'm going to pick this burnt orange sort of shade. Now this is called Pumpkin. I'm adding this shade. Now that's nicely pigmented. I'm adding this shade to add more depth and make the look more peachy. This is a beautiful peachy palette, so I do want to do a peachy glam look. Flick it outwards like this. Now this shade Spice is such a beautiful shade. If you're a complete beginner and you don't want to do like a cut crease or add in 2-3 shades, just take a big fluffy blending brush, pick this one shade Spice and put it all over your lids, blend it outwards in circular motions and you'll have a beautiful eye look. Now this looks really nice and blended just like this, but मैं इस पैलेट के ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा शेड्स ट्राई करना चाहती हूँ, इसीलिए अब मैं लूँगी ये ब्राउन शेड जो कि है ब्रिक एंड इसको जस्ट आउटर कॉर्नर में थोड़ा सा अप्लाई करूँगी टू ऐड दैट डेप्थ एंड उसके लिए मैं ले रही हूँ ये छोटा सा पेंसिल ब्रश. ये उस बर्न्ट ऑरेंज शेड से उतना ज़्यादा डार्क है नहीं तो दिख नहीं रहा है, बट स्टिल ओके, आई थिंक दिस डिड मेक अ डिफरेंस. लाइक ये जस्ट थोड़ा सा स्लाइटली इट इज डार्कर देन दिस वन. सो फार सो गुड. अभी तक हमने 3 मैट शेड्स ट्राई किए हैं एंड सबके सब काफ़ी पिगमेंटेड एंड अच्छे से ब्लेंड हो रहे हैं. नाउ फॉर अ शिमर शेड एंड आई डोंट नो इफ आई शुड जस्ट पुट इट विथ माई फिंगर्स और डू अ कट क्रीज. आई डू वॉन्ट टू मेक दिस सुपर ग्लैम, सो आई थिंक आई एम जस्ट like going to go with a little bit of concealer, but you can definitely take your fingers and just pack the shimmer shade. I'm going to go for this one. Now this is the most reflective shimmer shade in the palette. ये सब भी shimmer shades है, but ये उतना reflective नहीं है जितना कि ये gold shade है. इसका नाम है Sequin. This Sequin is that one shade that I'm super excited about. So for the moment of truth, okay, that is a bit darker than I thought it would be. Let's see. But it looks super reflective. Like it is darker, but it's a really pretty reflective shade. I think that looks amazing. Let me layer it properly. Okay, I think this looks really amazing. It's not groundbreaking, but then it's much better than many of the shimmer shades I've tried in other drugstore brands. So yes, that looks good. Now I'm going to take that Spice shade again, that burnt orange shade, on that pencil brush and just blend out these harsh lines that you see between the shimmer shade and the matte shades. Thing to note, this particular shimmer shade has a lot of chunky glitters and I did get quite a bit of fallout on my face, but I'm just going to dust it off and hopefully that lifts off. To the look, I'm going to place this burnt orange shade on my lower lash line. Always remember to go in and then connect them at the end. Eye makeup using the Pure Bloom palette is done. Now I'm just going to add in some falsies, kajal and highlighter on the inner corner and the brow bone. You can also go in with 2 coats of mascara and that will be good to go because these are lighter shades, so you don't exactly need falsies. So this is the final look and I love how this turned out. All the matte shades, they blended really well. They were nicely pigmented. The reflective shimmer shade on my lid, it looks super beautiful. For my final thoughts, the price that you pay for this palette, the entire experience of this palette, the packaging, the mirror that comes with it, there's a beautiful color story to it. The shades, be it matte or shimmer, they looked really beautiful. And I will say that I did hear a lot of comments that this is very repetitive. Like, we do have these palettes available in the drugstore already. Now, I know that Wet n Wild, Makeup Revolution and Swiss Beauty has palettes like this, but they don't give you that experience. Like, they are, like, the shades are beautiful, the blendability is beautiful, but that packaging, that like there is a shade name to it, that beauty, that is a bit missing there. And many said that you can get ColourPop palettes, which are like, these might be exact dupe for ColourPop palettes, but in India ColourPop palettes are not easily available. I myself, being a beauty blogger, it's a bit difficult for me to trust, you know, online Instagram stores that would, there are very few that genuinely sell ColourPop palettes. So for someone who is a complete beginner and wants just that one palette, I'll definitely suggest these, like whichever variant you want of these Kay Beauty palettes. So these are perfect for beginners, and also these are great for someone carrying that big eyeshadow palette is quite a hassle. So if you're someone who just needs that one go-to eyeshadow palette, I wouldn't say every day, because this has some really beautiful shades that you can use in your glam looks. So that go-to eyeshadow palette, if you want something small which has a mirror, which is beautiful, definitely go for the Kay Beauty palette. Now these do retail for 1200, but I did see in the summer sale they were available for about 800 or 900 something. So wait for these Nykaa sales if you think 1200 is a lot to pay for a 9-pan eyeshadow palette. So those were my thoughts. And which palette is, like, which variant from this range is your favorite? Which one would you pick? Because personally for me, this one is perfect, and maybe Self-Love if not this, because these has tones that I would reach out to, peachy and pinky tones. So that said, I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit the like button. Also subscribe to my channel. Check me out on Instagram if you want to connect with me there. And yeah, meet you in my next video. Till then, bye.